In honor of the recent Honkai Star Rail movie, I'm going to go over every single creature that appears in the motion picture. We're gonna start small and then work all the way up. This is the Compsognathus, the smallest creature on planet Jurassica. It's not much bigger than a chicken, but it can work in packs to bring down prey much bigger than themselves, such as a Protoceratops. Next up is the Dimetrodon. Don't be fooled by its appearance. It's actually not a dinosaur, but a synapsid, a type of mammal ancestor. It lived during the Permian period. On Jurassica, it can be found in the Rocky Canyon. Moving on, we have the Pyroraptor in its blue coloring. This blue-feathered predator is known as the fire thief because of its ability to breathe fire, like a dragon. And then we get the Velociraptor, the Pyroraptor's larger cousin. Something to remember with this design is that it's taking cues from the Jurassic World Rebirth Velociraptor design. It lives in the jungles and open grasslands of Jurassica. The scavenger niche is filled by the Dilophosaurus. Some individuals can grow to the size of a bear. Again, I decided to go with a more Jurassic Park style to appeal more to audiences. Moving on to the bigger theropods, we have the Carnotaurus, the meat-eating bull from South America. Its two horns are what sets it apart from other carnivores in the region. It has a fierce rivalry with the Allosaurus. This one looks like the Dinomacord Allosaurus, but with osteoderms on its back. It reminds me if the Dinomacord Allosaurus and the Jurassic World Dominion Allosaurus had a baby. Next up, Spinosaurus. One of the few semi-aquatic predators on Jurassica. With its signature sail and paddle-like tail, this aquatic predator is a force to be reckoned with. The largest carnivore on Jurassica is the Giganotosaurus. It is heavier than the T-Rex, which we will cover in a second, but is way shorter in length. It also has a weaker bite force. Now we go to the T-Rex, the king of all dinosaurs and the second largest predator on Jurassica. It has the body of the Jurassic World Rebirth T-Rex, with its back more covered in osteoderms. When it sees a human, it acknowledges its existence. Once it is tamed, it remains loyal to the end. Now we go to the plant-eating dinosaurs of Jurassica. Here we have the Psittacosaurus, which is the Star Rail crew's companion dinosaur. Originally, Ankylops or Microceratops were going to be the companion dinosaurs, but they were scrapped because the Ankylops would rip off too much of Jurassic World Rebirth, and Microceratops, well, there is no known reason for why it was scrapped. And now the Stygimoloch. The Stygimoloch is a filler dinosaur, or in the manga of the movie, instead of Stygimolochs running around, when the crew arrives on Jurassica, we have Gallimimus and Pachycephalosaurus, two dinos that didn't make it into the movie, but what made it into the movie was the Parasaurolophus. In the movie's manga, it lived in a herd with Coryphosaurus and Anatotitan as well, but only Parasaurolophus made it to the film. There is a special one called Pyrina, which is Robin's Parasaurolophus companion. In her natural habitat, she was banished from her herd because she was seen as an outcast, and because of her different coloring from the others. One of the few armored herbivores on Jurassica is the mighty Stegosaurus, with its four-spiked tail and the distinctive spinal plates. This creature can defend itself from meat eaters like Allosaurus and T-Rex. Sharing the Stegosaurus habitat is the Ankylosaurus, an armored dinosaur from the Cretaceous. This design takes cues from the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus, but with a more distorted head shape. And then we have the Triceratops. In the manga, Triceratops lived alongside Protoceratops, but the Protoceratops didn't make it into the film. So sadly, Triceratops were the only species of ceratopsian in the movie. In the manga, there are 5, and I mean 5, sauropod species. Apatosaurus, Diplodocus, which didn't make it into the film, Brachiosaurus, Nigersaurus, which also didn't make it into the film, and Dreadnoughtus. The whip-tailed Apatosaurus is fiercely protective of their young, and travels in herds. It is the smallest among the movie's 3 sauropods. Brachiosaurus. The designers took inspiration from the long-necked rhinos from Genshin Impact and implemented it to this design. For me, I think it works perfectly. And now, the biggest land creature on Jurassica, the Dreadnoughtus. In the concept art, it was seen walking alongside Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, and Nigersaurus, just like in the manga. Plus, this design was inspired by the Dromaeosaurus from the game. And now our final roster of creatures. The non-dinosaurian creatures and the mammals. First up is the Dimetrodon. This one has a more penguin-ish appearance. Makes sense because it lives near the coasts of the planet. Its wings are more like flippers. And that design choice I'm okay with it. But on the other hand, we have the Pteranodon. This Pteranodon was actually designed after Xiao from Genshin Impact. You see the colors on him? That is Xiao. And now, the biggest flying creature, the Quetzalcoatlus. Its colors were inspired by the Jurassic World Rebirth Quetzalcoatlus figure. This jet black Quetzalcoatlus, I think it is awesome. The Ichthyosaurus. This one is more toothpaste colored than the other Ichthyosaurus in the Hoyoverse. But still looks good to me. Next up is the Allosaurus. This one has a beautiful whale shark coloring, which matches very well with its habitat in the ocean. Now we go to the Mosasaurus. As when the crew arrives on Jurassica and they sail through the oceans, the Mosasaurus jump scared me off guard when I saw it in the theaters. Okay, so here we have the woolly mammoth. Something to remember with this design is that it has a star on its forehead. Stars, which refer to the game's title, Honkai Star Rail. Its natural predator, the Smilodon, or the saber-toothed cat if you will, has a more jaguar coloring to match with its grassland biome. And then the dodo, which looks exactly like the dodo should look. And the scene where the dodo hides from the jaguar behind Akron's leg, that was really cute. But now we move on to the main antagonist of the movie, Titanus Allosaurus Anax. A giant Allosaurus that was awoken by the Antimatter Legion and joined their side immediately, causing havoc all around Jurassic after being in his slumber for over 6,000 years. But the Star Rail crew, using their dino powers, managed to take down this gigantic Allosaurus Godzilla thing and save the dinosaurs once and for all. So, if you've watched this movie in the theater, tell me your opinion. Anyways, thank you for watching. My favorite dinosaurs were the Pyroraptor, Pteranodon, the T-Rex, the Allosaurus, and the Giganotosaurus. Subscribe for more videos.